أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي بيده تتم الصالحات أحمده حمدا يليق بجلاله وعظيم سلطانه وأصلي وأسلم صلاة وتسليما يليقان بمقام أمير الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Ramadan series on Metro TV. My name is Abass Omar Abdul-Karim. Metro TV's Ramadan series is the biggest Ramadan show on television for the past 20 years, and we are still going. This year's Ramadan series, coincidentally, is coming to you kind courtesy of Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, the biggest waste management company in Ghana. Now, before I introduce my guest, let's take a tidbit on sanitation. Do not litter. Do not throw litter on the streets while in public transport. We need to keep Ghana clean, and this goes to all of us Ghanaians. While in the public transport, we are expected not to throw litter on the street. Keep Ghana clean. Keep Ghana clean. I want to show special appreciation once again to Dr. Sian Ejapon, the CEO of Zoom Lion Ghana, and also our brother Adams, who works with Zoom Lion. Sorry, the executive, Dr. Sian Ejapon is the executive chairman of Jospon Group of Companies. Executive chairman, Jospon Group of Companies. And our brother Adams, thank you very much. Thank you, Acting Managing Director Randy Abbey, and also thank you, Uncle Nat, Head of Program. Now, my guest in the studio is our own brother, Superintendent of Police, Imam Hussein Abdul-Rahim Hussein. He is the head of religious affairs, Islamic affairs at the Ghana Police Service. So let me make it simple. He is the Imam of the Ghana Police Service. Imam, welcome to Metro TV Ramadan series.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity.
This is a familiar house.
Of course, it's a familiar place, but I've seen a lot of developments, and it's very encouraging. It is very encouraging.
Very, very inspiring. Imam, Ramadan, we've been fasting from childhood. If we want to know the essence or the purpose of Ramadan in few minutes, what is the essence of Ramadan? Or what is Ramadan, and what is the purpose or the essence of Ramadan?
Thank you very much. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, we thank Allah for blessing us with this season of grace and mercy. We testify that there is no any deity worthy of worship except Allah. We testify again that Muhammad is truly a servant and messenger. May Allah bless Muhammad, his household, his companions, and all those who follow the path of righteousness till the day of resurrection. Indeed, Ramadan is one of fasting in the month of Ramadan. It's one of the very fundamentals of Islam. And the very essence of Ramadan is nothing but God consciousness. And the Quran emphatically states it, that Ya ayyuhallazina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba ala allazina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. So God consciousness, like the Quran says, O you who believe, fasting in the month of Ramadan has been prescribed to you as it was prescribed to those who came before you, so that you attain piety, you attain taqwa, you attain God consciousness. So that is the very fundamental of fasting in the month of Ramadan. But this God consciousness is huge. Is a very big thing that when we appreciate it as we are expected to do, it does a lot. One, the relationship between us and our Creator, and then our duties and responsibilities towards each other in our country. Because God consciousness itself, that is the essence of Islam, and that is faith. When you attain it, when you appreciate it and understand exactly what it is, and you are ready to follow the dictates of God's consciousness or taqwa, it raises you high, brings you closer to Allah, makes you achieve your aim in life. You are very mindful of your duties towards your Creator. It does a whole lot of things. I believe in your questions you may be.
Yes, you spoke about God consciousness at taqwa. This is something within the heart.
Very well.
Good. So, what are the manifestations
Yes.
of taqwa, especially in the month of Ramadan?
Thank you very much. You see, when one attains taqwa, as you said, it's matters of the heart. But it is expected that it reflects, it showcases in everything that you do. Because Islamically, when we say ibadah, that is worship, it means everything that you do, kullu ma yuhibbuhu Allahu wa yardahu min al-aqwali wal-af'ali az-zahira wal-batina. This is the definition of worship in Islam. It's everything that you do, that Allah desires it, Allah prefers them, and Allah accepts them. From your statement, what you say, your deeds, both in the secret and in the out, is seen as an act of worship. So for us, your duties and responsibilities towards your family, your duties at work, your relationship, your businesses, whatever you do is seen as an act of worship. And God consciousness should reflect in this. Ramadan is a wonderful time. It's a wonderful opportunity. It is like the stranger who comes to you to knock at your door and remind you of your duties and your responsibility towards your Creator. So Ramadan comes every year to remind us about these duties. So it gives us the opportunity to do certain things. Like, as you said, acts of worship, extending a helping hand to the needy, supporting others to break their fast, making sure you protect your duties in your fasting. These are all basic things that brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end of the day, it is expected that it will lead you to opening a new page in your life. Remember, as I said, God consciousness is the very essence of Ramadan. And I was trying to relate it with exactly Islam itself. What is it? Because at the end of the day, you are supposed to attain taqwa. And when you have it, when you own it, it directs you in everything that you do. So Ramadan provides you with that opportunity because there are rules and regulations. How best you keep your fast. Things that are halal are not prohibited for you, but because you are fasting, you abstain yourself. What about those that is haram? So at the end of the day, it's supposed to what? To prepare you in facing the challenges of life.
That's a wonderful explanation. But Imam, one thing that baffles my mind is something you've spoken about. In the month of Ramadan, things that are halal are banned during a certain time of the day. And people are able to, keep by the rules. But things that are haram, a lot of people are not able to stick by that. What are they? Are they at conscious level? Because personally, I see that most of us are at the awareness level. But from the way you explain, at the conscious level, that is where it's, we see the manifestation of a real faithful person in action.
Yes. Imam, you see, God consciousness, that level, there is the need for one to go through the rudiment of discipline. You see,
Exactly, that was the word I missed.
You see,
yes.
You see, because you want to protect your fast, so you're supposed not to eat. You're not going to eat in the day. You may get to your room, fill your tank, and then come out and tell people you are fasting.
No.
But because there's something that you want to get to, you appreciate exactly what it is. So you discipline yourself. Things that you could do, you will not do it. So it means you've gone through that rudiments. You are able to hold yourself back so that you safeguard your fasting. This is what is also expected from you, so that it will raise you from the level of awareness to the level of what? Consciousness. So yes. The essence here, or exactly what we are looking at here, is discipline. How best do I hold myself back? Even when I'm alone, I know there are laws, I know there are rules and regulations. This I'm not supposed to do. I'm at the office, I'm not supposed to do this, I'm not supposed to do that. Very clear. Ethics, I have to, the ethics of the work, I have to follow them. But you see, it takes discipline. It takes that God consciousness for you to hold yourself back. Because at the end of the day, you tell yourself, I'm doing this for the sake of Allah. As I defend our actions, try to define our actions earlier, that everything that we do is seen as an act of what? Of worship. Provided you do it with sincerity and also in conformity with the teachings of what? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, discipline is the word. There's also the need for you to appreciate exactly what it is. And then you go through that rudiments. And then at the end of the day, you'll be able to leave that level of awareness to the level of God consciousness. Then at that point in time, the issue is that, God is in control. God is looking at you. So you want to do everything to serve your Creator. Khalisan liwajhillah. Sincerity for the sake of Allah.
Imam, this is becoming interesting. So, with God consciousness, your fasting is perfected. So, what is the reward of a perfect fasting?
I will just answer this with the saying of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where in that hadith, Prophet Muhammad has said that Allah has said, "As-siyamu li wa ana ajri." That fasting is for me. In other words, you did it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So He is the only one who is going to reward you. And the reward of Allah is great. God will bless you in your work. God will bless your relationship. God will protect your duties and responsibilities. God will provide ways for you where there is no way. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. Whoever fears Allah, whoever attains God consciousness, that is the word. When you have it, وَمَنْ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا, Allah will provide ways for you. Do you have difficulty? Do you have challenges? Possibly it's a chronic issue, it's a chronic disease, whatever it is. But Allah will provide an alternative for you. You have an open mind and heart that you appreciate that, yes, this is what God has done. And at His own time, it will go our way. Do you get it? So, Yaja'allahu maharaja, provide ways for you. And even what? Provide provisions. Provide you with resources you never expected. Because you've gotten to that level. You've left that level of awareness. You've gotten to that God consciousness. So God is there with you. So that is it. Now, the other aspect is that because you have attained that God consciousness, these people will see it in your life. The way you will deal with people, the way you react to issues, the way you relate with your workers, at your office, with your family, with your children. God consciousness is there. So you do what is right and also what is expected from you. Yes, you are elevated and Allah knows the reward that is going to give you. At the same time, you will see that in your life because you have attained God's taqwa. God will provide ways for you, give you provisions you never expected. And at the same time, your relationship with people, your duties and responsibility will be a wonderful thing. So this is Ramadan for you, God consciousness.
Because you are a security person, towards the end of the show, I would ask for some security tips. But before we do that, if you just join us, you are. This is Ramadan series on Metro TV. We are looking at Ramadan and uprightness. And also, we are sponsored by Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, the biggest sanitation company in this country. Imam, so all our goal is to achieve the piety of God consciousness. So what are some of the activities that would assist or facilitate for people to attain in their quest to attain that level of consciousness that you talk about?
Thank you very much. You see, let me say, for use of better words, let me see, Ramadan is like a package. It comes with a whole lot of things that you need to do, a whole lot of things to uplift your faith, to raise yourself high. One of the wonderful things that we're supposed to be doing to attain this God consciousness is reflecting back on the book of Allah, that is the Quran. Ramadan, or the month of Ramadan, Shahrul Quran, is the month of the Quran. So there is the need for us to reflect, to read the Quran, understand and appreciate exactly what it is. There's a need for you to have a program, a timetable, where you arrange a day, you are reading number of pages of the Quran, and also try to understand the meaning of the Quran. There are other things also. Standing in the night for prayer, following the Imam in Taraweeh, supporting others to break their fast, providing resources for others who don't have, paying your zakat in the month of Ramadan, sponsoring works like this, because this is education. We are sending what? Message to the Ummah. Supporting or sponsoring works like this is all part of the things that we do so that it can elevate us high. So these are the steps. When you do it, it will raise you high and take you to God consciousness.
That's wonderful, Imam. So what are some of the don'ts? Once we are taught now how to protect our gains in the man, or how to facilitate going to God consciousness, we need also to know what may make us fall short of the God consciousness. So, in brief, what are some of the things that we are expected not to do, but if we do it, it reduces the quality and the value of our fasting?
You see, we are told that al-imanu yazidu wa yanqus. Yazidu bi-ta'a wa yanqusu bil-ma'siyah. This is very fundamental. It says our faith, at a certain point in time, sometimes it increases and also decreases. That is natural about us. Sometimes we're so close to our God based on certain development things, or where you find yourself. And certain times there's a challenge. That is why we are not perfect. Perfection is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a result of some developments, it takes you away. So that's why you say Iman, it increases and also decreases. But it increases what? With ta'ah, good deeds, following the path of Allah. And it also decreases with what? Following the path of what? Shaitan, not doing well. So everything good that you do, it increases your faith. Everything good you do, it goes high to hold high and regard your fasting. Your faith. And everything bad that decreases your iman also goes forward to negate the very meaning of fasting. So all that I would say, we should abstain ourselves from every haram. Everything you know is haram, you take yourself away. In the afternoon, you don't smoke. Try as much as possible to abstain from smoking. You don't do any other thing that is haram. Try as much as possible. These are the things that will increase us in faith. Any other thing that is also not accepted, when you engage yourself in them, it also takes you away from the very essence of fasting. So uprightness is the word. Uprightness at any point in time. Even though certain point in time you may fall, but try to stand and perfect your faith and perfect your work.
Okay, Mom, now let me come back to special people in the society, women and children. Islamically, are children expected to fast?
Thank you very much. Children are encouraged, but it's not mandatory on them to fast. You need to encourage them. When we were growing, our parents, may Allah accept them and grant them Jannah, they will encourage us. We'll get up at dawn to eat with them. So in the morning you may want to, and they will say, oh, try. Maybe today you do the half fasting at 12 o'clock. And then at 12 o'clock, they will clap for you, and then they will buy something for you to eat. All this is what? Encouragement. Yesterday, a brother invited me for iftar. In fact, I was amazed. I saw 3 young children who are children of one of his brother, Dr. I forget the name. And the moment I saw them, I said, oh, you are not fasting, so I'm not going to give you dates. He said, we are fasting. And they told me the number of days they are fasting. I was amazed. I was amazed. So they are encouraged. So children are supposed to be encouraged to fast, but not mandatory on them to fast. No. Women.
Let's come to women.
Women have exceptions. It is a duty, like men, they have to fast. But there are certain things. Maybe she is in her circle. This may not allow her to fast. And they probably, the sick too, may also not fast, but may do it later. Women who are in their month will do it later. Again, those who are also traveling or also have been given the option to break their fast and do it later. So these are the 3 categories. Women in their month, those are traveling, and those who also are sick. They have been given the opportunity to relax. Afterwards, they can pay back their fasting. So children are supposed to be encouraged to do so.
Now let's come to security issues.
Very well. This is
what
important.
are the very important tidbits for security, especially in the month of Ramadan, where people wake up very early, very soon will enter the days of Tahajjud. People will leave their homes and then go to masajid for what are the necessary precautions they have to take, and what are the security issues associated with Ramadan.
Thank you very much. You know, matters of security is very fundamental in Islam. To the extent we are told, when there is no security, when one is going out to pray, it's not sure, should do it at home. To the extent even when we see signs of rain, we are encouraged to pray Maghrib and Isha at one time and run back home.
No.
Remember Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself, because of the security of his followers, he has to send some of his followers to Abyssinia so that they will have a very secure place to worship their Creator.
No.
At the earlier stages of Islam, they have to hide to secure their numbers, their life, so that they can have, because when they don't do that, the non-believers or their enemy will fight them and will finish them. So security at any point in time is very fundamental. Without security, we cannot worship. Without security, we cannot perform our work. We cannot fast. So security is very fundamental. Imam, it is important when we get up in the morning, even before you get to your room, you get to sleep, after your Taraweeh. Well, when you are leaving home for your Taraweeh, it's important you check your car, who is following you, where you are going. You are so satisfied, especially when your area is that cool. You should be mindful who is following you and wherever. These are very fundamental. When you park your car and you have very important things in your car, you don't leave them there. You try to find a way of getting with them in your car, or others who might think that you are putting something in the car may come and break it. It's also worthy you know exactly where you park your car, where there are people to secure the place. For example, at the police mosque, we have our people at the car park at any point in time, making sure that things are okay. We have the lights over there. So when somebody comes there, it can easily be seen. Also, very soon, the tahajjud. Before you leave house, be mindful. You are so sure. You close your home. Make sure the house is closed. Or if you think it is not possible, probably some may come and break your house. You can do it in your home. So because security is very important. Yeah.
Imam, time is always not a friend on this
There's
very
something small I
important
want
program.
to add, especially matters of security when it comes to the Eid,
Now,
especially on the day of the Eid, when the
so I expect you to be back in the studios
Thank you so
before
much.
Eid, so that we can talk solely on
Thank
Eid.
you so much. Thank
I
you.
want to show appreciation. But before we end, I would like you to say a word of prayer to Dr. Siao Ajepon, Executive Chairman, Just One Group of Companies, for supporting us.
It is something worthy to emulate. Looking at where he is coming from, to support
Elder of the church.
an elder of a church, and also purely a businessman, and also coming in to support the Ramadan series. I think is very encouraging, very inspiring, and I also want to add my voice that other Muslim businessmen must also, men and women must also come in to give their support. He has shown the way. We can also do that. I just want to take the opportunity to pray for him in a special way, that God would bless his businesses, God will widen the horizon. There are challenges and difficulties. Allah will ease his path for him. Allah will also open more resources for him, more opportunities for him, so that he can continue to support Mother Ghana.
I want to thank you very much, Super Imam Hussein Abdul-Rahim, the Imam of the Ghana Police Service, for passing through. Thank you and God bless you. Next time when you come, we'll discuss the iftar programs at the Ghana Police Mosque. Viewers, all too soon, we've come to the end of today's edition. Join us tomorrow, same time, for yet another interesting edition of Ramadan series on Metro TV. My name is Abass Abdul-Karim. I'm unable to acknowledge my crew, but inshallah, in the next episode, I'll acknowledge all of them. But I want to thank them as a group and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless them. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.